It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the San Diego Padres. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Saturday evening to you, wherever you may be. Dodgers and Padres, Game 2 of the 3-game series. Also, the 11th meeting between these two teams this year. Dodgers have won 8 out of 10, and they have beaten San Diego 10 straight times at Dodger Stadium and 4 straight this year. The pitching tonight, Aaron Harang will go to the mound, 6-5, 1-1 against an old ball club for which he toiled, and it'll be Edinson Valquez on the mound for San Diego. The Dodgers have beaten him twice this year. For the Dodgers, they get the news, number one, Arizona lost this afternoon, and the Giants play Houston tonight. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have a whole lot more coming up right after this. Drive sales event by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By CarMax, start the search for your next car at CarMax. And by Dodge.
Aerial coverage brought to you today by Hangar One, made in California in an actual aircraft hangar. Hey, welcome back. Another beautiful night for baseball. Dodgers and the Padres with Kenny Lofton, Steve Lyons, and Patrick O'Neill. We've talked about Ellis and Kemp and Ethier back, but one thing that's really fluid is the leadoff position. 4 consecutive games, 4 different leadoff hitters. Tonight it's Bobby Abreu, Kenny. You know, he's only had 52 career starts to the leadoff position. That was your spot. Is this going to be a problem for the Dodgers?
No, it's not. Actually, it's perfect for the Dodgers because at this point you need somebody to take a lot of pitches, and you need to have someone who's going to have a lot of quality at bats. And at this point, Bobby Abreu is that guy who's going to give you that in the leadoff spot. He's not going to steal bases, he's not going to bunt, but he's going to give you quality at bats, and that's what you need for the leadoff guys.
I agree with you on half of that. I think Bobby Abreu is a good choice because he will take pitches, still can run a little bit. He's not going to be out there stealing bases, but it's not a great situation for the Dodgers because they literally don't have a prototypical leadoff guy right now. That's why you've seen 4 different ones in there. They'd love to have D. Gordon back swinging the bat, getting on base and doing what he does as a leadoff spot and raising his average. They don't have any of that right now. Yeah, pretty much going to be a trio of guys at the leadoff spot. It's either going to be Jerry Hairston, Bobby Abreu, or Tony Gwynn Jr. when he gets to start. Well, when we come back, it's first pitch. Vin Scully has the call. Padres and the Dodgers. We'll see you for Dodgers Live.
Casino, now celebrating 26 years of fun. Visit sanmanuel.com for details. By 76 Gas, we're on the driver's side. And by Time Warner Cable. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Saturday evening to you, wherever you may be. We're at Dodger Stadium for Game 2 of the 3-game series between the Dodgers and the San Diego Padres. And just a few moments ago, a rather heartwarming scene. Tommy John, who won 288 victories in his career, goes to the mound with the ball, says he can't pitch. Don Mattingly goes out to the mound, takes the ball from Tommy, hands it to Dr. Frank Jobe, who was the one who did the remarkable surgery on Tommy John that has saved the careers of so many, many players, and not just necessarily pitchers. Infielders, and I understand now that even high school athletes are getting the Tommy John surgery. So TJ, as they called him, in that pink shirt, and sitting comfortably in the stands. It is interesting to note that Tommy John actually won more games following the surgery than he did before the surgery. And when we brought that up to Frank Jobe's attention, he said it's not the surgery that has improved, it's the same. It's the rehabbing that has saved and brought so many back. So a great moment. And now as we take a look at Bud Black and his ball club, his lineup goes this way. Alexei Amarista opens up at short. Logan Forsythe at second base. Chase Headley at third, and Carlos Quentin hits cleanup in left field. Yasmani Grandal will be the catcher. Yonder Alonso at first base. Will Venable in right. Cameron Maben, the center fielder, bats eighth. Edinson Valquez on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, Aaron Harang with a record of 6-5. Harang is 4-5 lifetime against his old club. 1-1 against them this year. Actually 3-3 in Petco when he was pitching both for the Dodgers and for the Cincinnati Reds. Aaron is looking for his first decision against San Diego here. So the 34-year-old right-hander who has shut down the Padres, their overall batting average against them in the 230s, and he had that blistering time where he struck out 9 in a row and struck out 13 in the game. So Aaron cautioning to his first baseman Juan Rivera, and the leadoff man is Alexi Amaristi. The crowd still filing into the ballpark. A 6:10 start as Amarista officially gets in and the ball game is underway. Amarista came into the game last night as a pinch hitter, singled to center, walked in the 9th inning, and might have scored the tying run except for a nice play by Juan Rivera. Alexi takes a strike and the count 0-1. Amarista is 5'6", weighs about 150 pounds, and when put all together, a remarkable young ball player. He swings, doesn't get a breaking ball, and the count 0-2. So Aaron Harang at 34 trying to balance his books and get up to 7-5. Right-hander comes back 0-2, swung on and lifted into shallow left center. A trio of Dodgers, and it's the left fielder Abreu making the running catch. So Amarista, a fly ball to left center, one away, and Logan Forsythe will be coming up. Logan Forsythe was on the DL the end of March. He had a fractured left foot. He had surgery on the foot, so he was out for quite a while. Came back in June, had a walk-off home run to beat the Giants. A hot hitter of late, batting .308 with 2 home runs, and he takes a strike. Forsythe with 9 runs batted in. The Padres, not much of an offense, trying to find the solution to get some runs. The next pitch is swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. But of course, keep in mind the Dodgers won last night 2-1, and they have been more like the Padres than the Padres in some ways. For Mark Ellis and his club, they're scoring 3 runs or less in 18 of the last 22 games. So 1-2 the count to Logan Forsythe. Here comes Harang over the top, and he misses down and away. 2-2 the count. Forsythe in last night's ball game had a double and a single. The single, little dribbler up along third, and Clayton Kershaw couldn't pick it up. This time, fly ball to right field, coming a long way in a hurry and playing it on a bounce is Ethier, who quickly throws to first, but holding on is Forsythe. High fly ball right down the line. Ethier, with a right-hand hitter up, was shading him over towards right center and could never catch up to it. And the ball landed, I would guess, 6 inches, less than a foot fair. So a Forsythe single to right will bring up the switch hitting third baseman, Chase Headley. So Headley climbing in, hitting .266, 8 home runs, 42 runs batted in. Out of a stretch goes Harang. A look over at first, now to the pitch to the plate, and that's high, ball 1. For Logan Forsythe, of course, as we told you, he has not been playing much, but in limited time, Forsythe has stolen 3 out of 4. So as Forsythe held on by Juan Rivera, Headley waits, 1 ball and no strikes. Harang turns and throws over there. Padres, of course, trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. Dodgers trying to extend a 10-game winning streak against the Padres here at Dodger Stadium. Bud Black's club has lost 4 straight this year. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. Headley fouls it back. We were talking about the Dodger offense of late being a lot like the Padres. Whether you believe it or not, for Don Mattingly, Mark Ellis and company, the Dodgers have scored 3 runs or less in 18 of their last 22 games. But of course they figure to perk up with the return of Matt Kemp and Andre Ethier. 1-1 the count. Harang set at the belt, comes to the hitter, and he's a little high. 2-1 the count. The infield pretty much from first to second towards home plate in shadow. Outside, brilliant sunlight from left center all the way around to the right field foul line. So the lighting conditions, even though the lights themselves are on, they're not taking effect. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Headley takes, and it's low, ball 3. 3-1 to count. For Aaron Harang, as he tries to slow down his old ball club, he has 44 walks and 78 strikeouts. An earned run average, very good, 3.5. So now 3-1. We'll see if they play run and hit or not. And the Dodgers immediately have Harang throwing over the first to take a step away from Logan Forsythe. Headley followed by Carlos Quentin, who's hitting cleanup for the Padres. So Headley waiting. Harang leans in to get his on. The outfield about straight away. 3-1 with the runner not going, and Headley fouls it away, and the count goes 3-2. Headley's had 7 games this year where he's had 3 or more RBIs in each game. That gets him up to the 42. He's also walked a lot. He commands a great deal of respect, a veteran switch hitting third baseman. Headley waiting. We'll see about 3-2. Forsythe does not go. Ground ball under the glove of Rivera into right field. Forsythe goes to third, and the Padres are in business. They have runners at first and third and 1 out. So it went right underneath the glove of Juan Rivera. He tried to backhand the ball and it didn't come up. They're going to give him an error. I guess an error for anticipation rather than a play that he actually booted. So after making a fine play last night on a ball hit to his glove side to end the game, this time he tries to backhand a ground ball and draws the error. So first and third, 1 out, and Carlos Quentin checking in, hitting .267, 7 home runs, 17 runs batted in. Quentin, a local boy who made his mark certainly in the American League. He takes the first pitch low, 1 ball and no strikes. Interesting as Carlos Quentin checks in. Carlos had Tommy John surgery right after his collegiate career at Stanford back in July of 2003. He's from Bellflower and lives in Chula Vista. The 1-0 pitch on the way, a ground ball to third, juggled, dropped, recovered for a force play, and the run scores. So Adam Kennedy unable to handle what might have been a double play ball, and that brings the run in. So the Padres cash in the error at first base by Rivera. They also avoid the double play. Ball actually came up and hit Kennedy in the pit of the stomach, just above the belt. We'll see, since the force play, he's not charged with any kind of an error. Headley is removed. Scoring is Forsythe. And the batter now is Yasmani Grandal out of Cuba. He's the fella in his first major league game hit 2 home runs, and as a switch hitter hit 1 left-handed and 1 right-handed. First pitch to him is a fastball for a strike, 0-1. Grandal doubled and singled, struck out and grounded out last night. Padres surprised a lot of people. They sent Nick Hundley out and gave the job to Yasmani Grandal. He takes off speed and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Astros and the Giants, that ball game just underway. Lucas Harrell for Houston. Tim Lincecum with a record of 3-10 on the mound for the Giants. The next pitch is away, ball 2, 2-1. Lincecum brings an ERA of over 6, almost 6.5. Now lifetime, he is 5-0 against the Astros, and an earned run average of 1. 2-1 pitch on the way is foul back, and the count 2-2. And talking about the Astros, they've lost 11 straight games on the road. However, Lincecum has not faced Houston since 2010. So we'll keep an eye on that ball game for sure. Padres lead 1-0 in the first inning. Harang set at the belt. Aaron delivers, and it's fouled off. So the count stays to Grandal. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the young fella from Cuba has found a home in San Diego, although he lives in Florida, and he went to the University of Miami. Immigrated to Miami when he was about 10 years old. 2-2, and the pitch is swung on. Line drive by the diving Kennedy into left field for a base hit. Stopping at second is Quentin. So the Padres are not through yet, and Yonder Alonso will be coming up. So an error really set the stage. The force play should have been the third out, but it wasn't, and the Padres are trying to take advantage of it. The bad hop that struck Kennedy in the stomach, that took the double play away. The backhanded effort by Rivera when he came up empty, and then Forsythe had a single, Grandal a single, and here is Yonder Alonso. Alonso hitting .261, 3 home runs, 23 runs batted in. He had a 10-pitch at bat last night against Clayton Kershaw and walked. Came up the next time and walked again and wound up going 0 for 2. So Quentin at second, Grandal at first, 2 out, a run in, and the Padres lead 1-0. Alonso, big left-hand batter. Harang set at the belt. Aaron looks back at second, now works the hitter, and it's an off-speed breaking ball for a strike, and the count 0-1. Alonso with 20 doubles in the first half. So that would be the highest number of doubles by a Padre rookie in the first half ever. So he's off to a good start. Harang trying to get out of a jam. And the strike 1 pitch on the way, swung on, check swing, and it's fouled back. And the count 0-2. So back to back, you get Yasmani Grandal and Yonder Alonso. And baseball has gone international. Although, believe it or not, Yonder's from Miami, went to the university. Family's from Cuba. The strike 2 pitch is swung on, high fly ball, slicing foul down the left field line and well back into the stand. So Aaron Harang has now made 25 pitches. He got 2 tough breaks, the inability of Rivera to handle the ground ball. And then after that, Manning saw what appeared to be a double play ball take a bad hop and hit Kennedy in the stomach. He was able to get a force. 0-2 the count to Alonso. Here comes Harang, and a fastball is swung on and missed, and that's that. So down goes Alonso. Padres get a run on 2 hits and an error, leave 2 and lead 1-0. Is now trying to recover from that. We'll take a look at Mattingly's lineup. Bobby Abreu leading off in left field, Mark Ellis at second base, and Matt Kemp in center field batting third. Andre Ethier in right field hitting cleanup. Juan Rivera at first, Adam Kennedy at third, A.J. Ellis behind the plate, Luis Cruz at shortstop, Aaron Harang at pitcher. On the mound for San Diego, Edinson Volquez, who suffered the Tommy John surgery August the 1st 3 years ago. Ever since, he was with the Reds when he won 17 games. Volquez, as he steps in ready to go from the Dominican Republic, 29 years old. He was with Aaron Harang with the Cincinnati Reds. So Volquez will be facing Bobby Abreu. Now, Volquez has been two pitchers in his career as Abreu takes outside ball one, 1-0. Abreu, as he stands at the plate, doing very well in the second half. His average at .270 with 2 home runs, 16 runs batted in. 1-0 pitch on the way, and Bobby looks at his strike. Talking about having a good first half or a second half, and that reminds you about Volquez. Before the All-Star break in his career, 26-16. After the All-Star break, 12-20. 1-1 pitch. Abreu fouls it back, and the count 1-2. Abreu followed by Ellis, and then Kemp, and if anybody gets on, Ethier. Dodgers have beaten San Diego 8 out of 10. By the way, the Dodgers have had to make a personnel move. Javi Guerra is on his way to Mexico. His father is desperately ill. The 1-2 pitch, off speed and high, and the count 2-2. So Guerra is on what they call bereavement leave, and the Dodgers brought up Josh Wall, a relief pitcher, right-handed, to fill the gap at least for the while. 2-2 the count. Volquez back with a fastball fouled off. 2-2 to Bobby. Edinson Volquez was originally signed by the Texas Rangers, and that was way back in 2001. He has done very well getting the leadoff hitter for the inning out. We'll see what he does with Abreu. 2-2 pitch is swung on, hit down the left field line, foul out of play. This year, the leadoff hitter against Volquez is batting only .214. Last year, the leadoff hitter was batting .313, so a huge difference. In looking at Volquez's work, he does not overpower, so he has to remain ahead of the hitter. Fastball is hit foul outside of third and down the line. Another thing about not only the leadoff man, he's getting out the first 6 hitters. He had a lot of trouble from 1 to 6 last year, but he's turned that around completely so far. Of course, like every San Diego pitcher, he's plagued by the thought the team just doesn't score for him. He's made 11 starts where they've scored either 0 or 2 runs in the game. They get him an average of 2 runs a start. Here's his 2-2 pitch. Abreu pulls it foul, dribbling off to the right. One of the things opposition has done, not saying the Dodgers will do it, they bunt on him. There have been 4 bunt singles against Volquez. He's also a bit wild when there's a runner at third, especially. We'll keep an eye on him. He has a half a dozen wild pitches. Volquez holds the ball out in front of his face, now rocks and turns. 2-2 pitch is so high it's off the mitt of Grandal to the backstop for ball 3. The league runs on Volquez. 13 stolen bases against him, but the opposition has also been caught 7 times. He's had possible 4 losses saved. The 3-2 pitches swung on and missed. So Abreu strikes out, and that one pattern is holding up again for Volquez, getting the leadoff hitter in the inning. High fastball, and down goes Abreu. A couple of more things about Volquez. We told you that he could have lost 4 more games. Those were games he left in position to lose, but the club came back to take him off the hook. either by tying or taking the lead. He is a workhorse, makes a lot of pitches. In fact, he's number 3 in the league. Right-hander's first pitch, good fastball to Mark Ellis for a strike, and the count 0-1. Another thing about Volquez, and it's interesting watching Ellis take. Here's the strike 1 pitch, another fastball in there, strike 2. Hitters are not swinging at Volquez's first pitch better than 50% of the time. Though that's a little rare, but it is another of his patterns. Volquez looks down over the fingertips of his glove at Ellis. Now the right-hander, very deliberate. And the strike 2 pitch on the way is a line drive by the diving Amarista into left center. They get the ball back in a hurry, and Ellis holds with a long single. And now with a runner at first and 1 out, Matt Kemp will be coming up. The hopper just did get by Amarista, and so Kemp comes up with a man aboard here in the first inning. Matt, remember last night in his very first at-bat, after missing 51 games, promptly doubled into the gap in left center. Then in the 4th inning, he led off with a single. Then the next 2 at-bats, he grounded to short and flied to right. So Kemp checking in, hitting a cool 360. We say cool, temperature at the start of the game 75 degrees. So Matt waiting. 1-0 Padres, first inning. Volquez delivers, swing on and missed, 0-1. Good fastball at 96. Kemp with a quick bat, 0-1. Matt hitting 360, 12 home runs, 28 runs batted in. Mark Ellis has stolen 4 for 4 over there at first base. Strike 1 pitch is a little low. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Kemp followed by Andre Ethier, with the Padres out in front 1-0. Game 2 of the 3-game series. Chad Billingsley tomorrow. Jason Marquis for San Diego. The 1-1 pitch coming up to Matt Kemp is sliced into right field. Base hit. Ellis takes a look at second and keeps on going to third as the throw from Venable comes into second. So Matt Kemp does it again. Walks up and bang, base hit. So he's had 3 hits in 5 at-bats since coming back. I remember they used to always pay a big compliment to a veteran hitter, and they would say he could climb out of bed Christmas morning and hit a line drive, and I think that certainly would apply to Matt Kemp. So Volquez, who was given a 1-0 lead, but he's already in trouble. Dodgers at first and third with 1 out, and Andre Ethier checking in. Looking at Volquez versus Ethier, we can tell you that Andre's hitting .400 against him, 4 for 10. Andre trying to at least pick up Ellis. Out of his stretch goes Volquez, comes to his hitter and works it a little low. Ball 1, 1-0. For Ethier, who has done so well for so many times, he's also struggled a little bit. He is grounded into 7 double plays. So Volquez straddling the rubber. 1 ball and no strikes to Andre. On deck, Juan Rivera. Ellis down the line from third. Remember, Volquez has 6 wild pitches. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way to Andre Ethier. Swung on and popped up. Going out is Amarista. Charging in is Clinton. Clinton makes an awkward try and drops the ball. In comes Ellis. To second goes Kemp. To first goes Ethier. And for the Padres, they have to be very, very embarrassed. Probably a combination of the fact it's only 6:30. And if you're playing left field, you're looking at the sun-washed stands. But he took his eye off the ball to see where Amarista was, and then it got away from him. He lunged. The ball never touched his glove. So I assume Ethier will be given a pop fly single. So for the Padres, they had a 1-0 lead evaporate on a pop fly to shallow left field. That should have been the second out and no advancement. Instead, you have a 1-1 tie. Put it all together, you see the Padres, and you can understand why they're in last place, 14 games back, and the fact they are 20 games under 500. So here's Juan Rivera hitting .253. Volquez ready, delivers, and gets it in for a high strike. 0-1 the count. Rivera with 3 home runs, 27 runs batted in. Rivera has grounded into 10 double plays, so Volquez would like to get out of the jam. 3 hits for a run. Strike 1 pitch on the way, and that's swung on and fouled away, and the count 0-2. If you joined us late, it was Rivera's error that set up the run that came in on a force play for San Diego. And the Dodgers get a line drive single by Ellis, line drive single by Kemp, pop fly to shallow left that certainly should have been caught and wasn't, and the Dodgers have tied up the game 1-1. Carlos Quentin just took his eye off the ball to see where Amarista was, and it cost his club a run. So Rivera waiting, no balls and 2 strikes. All of right and right center still in brilliant sunlight. The infield in shade. A pathway of sunlight going from second base out towards center field. So the center fielder is standing in shade on a ball hit to right center. The center fielder will leave the shade and go right into the brilliant sunlight. So it's a tough time to play. 0-2 the count to Juan Rivera with 1 out. And of course, not to mention walking up to home plate and trying to hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. So Rivera climbs in. Volquez out of his stretch, checks the runners, and his strike 2 pitch, and Rivera hits a soft line drive right at second baseman Forsythe, and the runners have to hold. So that should have been the 3rd out, and the run should not have scored. But you could say the same thing for the Dodgers in the 1st inning, both Rivera and especially Rivera. So here now is Adam Kennedy, who took that hopper in the stomach and still turned it into a force play. So 2 on, 2 out, 1-1 in the 1st inning. Adam Kennedy hitting .228. He has a home run, and he has 12 runs batted in. Kennedy is hitting .333, 5-for-15 in the past against Volquez. Right-hander set, checking Kemp at second. Now works the plate. High fly ball going down the left field line, peeling off foul and back into the stands, and the count 0-1. So in the inning, Abreu struck out. Ellis single to center, Kemp single to right, Ethier's pop fly single falls, and the Dodgers have tied it up 1-1. 2 down, and we are just starting before a big Saturday night crowd. So bobblehead night, a bobblehead of the 2 great Dodger managers, Tommy Lasorda and Walter Alston. 0-1 the count to Kennedy. Volquez delivers in the dirt, blocked nicely, and holding on at second was Kemp. He was tempted to go to third. So for Grandolph, he saves Volquez a 7th wild pitch. He fought it, blocked it, lost it, recovered, and Kemp remained at second. 1-1 the count to Adam Kennedy. Adam Harang made 26 pitches in the 1st inning. Volquez is in the middle 20s already in his 1st inning. And the dreaded infield fly whizzing around Volquez's head. Shoe fly. 1 ball and 1 strike. All right, Edinson ready. And the 1-1 pitch on the way, pulled on the ground to first. Up with it is Alonso to the bag, and that's it. So each side very fortunate to score a run. And at the end of one, Padres won, Dodgers won. Roberts, former Dodger, former big league outfielder in his own right, giving Carlos Quentin perhaps a tip or two about that fly ball. One thing for sure, he didn't have to worry about a collision with Amarista for sure. Anyway, here's Will Venable, and the left-hand hitting right fielder takes off the plate. Ball one, 1-0. Venable hitting .248, 6 home runs, 21 RBIs, and in a fierce struggle, slump. 2 for 22, and he takes high for ball 2. Of course, Venable has been around a while, and the veteran has served the Padres well down through the years. The 2-0 pitch on the way. Will backs off, and he catches a corner. 2-1 to count. Aaron Harang worked hard, 26 pitches in the first inning. And the 2-1 pitch on the way. Will hits a ground ball to the right side. Mark Ellis is on it, and we have one away. Well, let's take a look at the Giants and the Astros. In the second inning, Lincecum had a 1-2-3 first inning, and then in the second inning, Tim Lincecum allowed 2 singles, then struck out the hitter and left 2 men. So they moved to the third. The Astros and the Giants, no score. And in case you wonder, the Cubs defeated Arizona earlier today, 4-1. So here's Cameron Maybin, fleet-footed center fielder, not hitting a lick, however, and promptly hits one to the gap in right center, but on the run is right fielder Ethier to pick it off, and we have 2 down. We were going to say that Maybin made a spectacular catch last night on a ball hit by A.J. Ellis in the 5th inning. That was a highlight play of the evening. 2 down, and here comes Edinson Volquez. Volquez hitting less than a buck. He has 2 hits. He has struck out almost half the time. Right-hand batter takes a strike, and the count 0-1. We have a 1-1 tie. A little shabby play on both sides. Now the strike 1 pitch on the way. A look, and it's a little low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Greg Gibson, the plate umpire. He's been in the league over 13 years. Ground ball to third. Nice hop this time for Kennedy, who sidearms it over to Rivera. A 1-2-3 inning. And at the end of an inning and a half, a 1-1 tie.
A cold one to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite.
Bottom of the second inning in a 1-1 tie. Interesting, we had 50 pitches in the first inning, 26 by Aaron Harang. And then Harang in the second inning made only 8 pitches. Well, we'll see about Volquez. He made 24 pitches in the first inning and very slowly making his way to mound to start the second inning. The plate umpire, Greg Gibson, among other things, was behind the plate during Randy Johnson's perfect game in Atlanta back in 2004. Volquez into the windup and delivers, and the fastball in for a strike. We bring it up because for Gibson, that was the opposite of that great night for Randy. The first inning for either side tonight. 0-1 to A.J., hitting .281. Volquez, both feet on the rubber, rocks and turns. Right-handed comes back high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. A.J. Ellis hitting .250 against Edinson. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way, and that's a good pitch in for a strike at 95, and a 1-2 count. Volquez used to be called Julio Reyes. Now the 1-2 pitch a little low. In fact, no, a little late call for strike 3, and down goes A.J. So Ellis strikes out. That would be the second strikeout for Volquez. Good pitch, dipped right in, certainly fooled Ellis. Now the batter is Luis Cruz, the shortstop. Volquez, since he's from the Dominican, it happens a lot. Cruz hitting .280. So many times a young, poor Dominican will start his career under a younger person's name, and then later on you find out that's not his name and he's older. Well, Volquez kind of fell into that category. The strike 1 pitch to Cruz, little breaking ball, drops in nicely. 0-2 the count. When he was growing up in the Dominican, Volquez idolized former Dodger pitcher at the time, Pedro Martinez, and the pitch chased and missed, and Cruz strikes out. So that's 3 strikeouts now for Edinson Volquez. Santo Domingo is where the Dodgers have their Dominican Baseball Academy, Campos Los Palmos, and Volquez proved to be a player who was there and got away. The first pitch now to Harang is high. 1 ball and no strikes. Now Volquez comes back 1-0, drills a fastball in there. 1-1 the count. 2 outs, second inning in a 1-1 tie. Now the 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed. The Padres sent Matt Latos to the Reds, getting Volquez, Yonder Alonso, the catcher Yasmani Grandal. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Curve ball in there. Strike 3 called. That'll do it for Harang. All Volquez did was strike out the side to give him 4, and at the end of 2, a 1-1 tie. West for the moment anyway. Dodgers atop the heap, a half a game ahead of the Giants. Arizona losing again 4-1, so they're now 5.5 back. And then you have Colorado and San Diego. Giants are scoreless in the third inning with Houston, and the Dodgers are 1-1 in the third with San Diego. Aaron Harang, who made 26 pitches in the first inning, cut it all the way down to only 8 pitches in the second. He'll be tested again. Alexei Amarista, who flied to left field, will lead it off. Finished up in right field last night for the first time in his career. Left-hand hitter shows bunt and takes ball 1. 1-0. Amarista in his last 23 games hitting .364. The 1-0 pitch on the way, and he takes a high strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. You can imagine the battles. As he said, growing up, everybody kept saying to him, "You're too little, you're too small, you can't play." 1-1 pitch, big swing and a foul ball. Well, he is not too little and he's not too small. He is a big leaguer, even though he stands just a little bit taller than A.J. Ellis when he comes up out of his crouch. 1-2. The pitch to Amarista, swung on, line drive, knocked down by Harang, picks it up and throws him out. So Amarista drilled it, and Aaron happened to be in front of it and knocked it down. So 1 away in the third. Ball hit Harang, fortunately, in the glove, spilled out, and then he fired it over to Rivera. The ball really came back in a hurry. So much so, they're now checking to see if Harang is all right. Thought it hit him right in the glove. Maybe we can take another look at the tape. Had it hit him in the glove, they wouldn't be worrying about him, but they're all out there now. The pitch, the line drive, the glove. Maybe the hand, you can't tell. Maybe the hand got a little bit of it. They're going to have Harang make a practice toss. He had the hand, I think, in front of the glove, and then he was wringing the hand. He just swung it quickly before he picked up the ball. That was the indication the hand got part of it. But Aaron says he's okay. So Amarista, who has some power, he might be 5'6" and 145 to 150 pounds. He does have 4 home runs. So he hit that hard for the out, and now Logan Forsythe checking in. 1-1 in the third. Forsythe, right-hand batter, and lays off a strike. 0-1 to count. Hitting after Forsythe is Chase Headley. 1-1 tie. We're in the third. Next pitch, grounded foul outside of third. Logan Forsythe out of Memphis, Tennessee. Since June the 3rd, he's just been super. Hitting .315. Check swing, ground ball back at first. Nice scoop by Rivera, and he steps on the bag. Check swing almost got by the bag, and Rivera was quick to respond. So we have 2 down in the third inning, and Chase Headley coming up. You know, time's running out to be a member of the 2012 Dodgers season ticket holder family. You purchase today, you'll receive all of the new benefits and full postseason rights. Season tickets between the bases start at $10 per game. So visit Dodgers.com/season tickets today. 1 ball and no strikes. The count to Headley. He hit the ground ball. Rivera tried to backhand it, never touched it, and went through for an error, and that set up the run. Chase swings, doesn't get it. 1-1 to count. Headley's numbers very consistent. He's a switch hitter, hitting .264 right, .268 left, 8 home runs, 5 right, 3 left. He holds up on a pitch low. 2-1 to count. 8 home runs and 42 RBIs. He strikes out more left-handed than right, but of course he has had twice as many at-bats left-handed. 2-1 pitch. Headley swings, grounds it foul outside of first base, almost on the footsteps of Dave Roberts, who left town in a hurry over there. Glenn Hoffman coaching at third. Dave getting a kidding from the Dodgers, from the Padres dugout, and maybe some fans as well. So timeout for the moment. There's also a beach ball loose out there in right field, so timeout. Glenn Hoffman over at third, one of the more popular players to ever put on a baseball uniform. Hoffy, as the world calls him. Remember his brother Trevor, a remarkable reliever. Now the 2-2 pitch on the way to Headley is taken. Strike 3 called. So down go the Padres. That's 7 in a row retired by Harang, and at the end of 2.5 innings, a 1-1 tie. One tie. It'll be the top of the order for the Dodgers. Bobby Abreu, followed by Mark Ellis, and then Matt Kemp. Edinson Volquez. At one time, as we mentioned, he was known as Julio Reyes. Then he was Edison, like the Thomas Edison inventor. And then finally he decided to put an N in there. So his name is Edinson Volquez, if you have time for all of that. And we go to the bottom of the third. Abreu struck out in the first inning. Volquez into the windup and deals and starts him with a breaking ball strike, and the count 0-1. Bobby hitting .268. The strike one pitch on the way. Checks as Abreu gives a little and takes another strike. 1 minute Bobby was thinking about swinging, then he decided to check and fall away, and it cost him a strike. Herrera, Gwynn, Hairston, and Abreu. Last 4 games, 4 different leadoff men. Strike 2 pitch low, ball 1, 1-2. That reminds me, last night we were relying on Stats Inc., and they are sensational. And Stats Inc., when you had Clayton Richard and Clayton Kershaw were the pitchers, and we get all of their stats every day, the pitches inside to Abreu. So we relied on them. There have been 5 Claytons ever to play in the majors: Clayton Kershaw, Clayton Richard, Clayton Lambert, Clayton Andrews, Clayton Mortensen. And then we found out you forgot one. And for them, that is shocking. They just don't forget. Of course, I forgot, but that's easy. Clayton Dalrymple. the catcher for the Philadelphia Phillies for many years. So there's another Clayton to be heard from. Meanwhile, 3-2 to Bobby Abreu, 1-1 in the third. Volquez rocks ready, right-handed delivers, high foul ball off to the left upstairs. So Abreu is still there, 3-2. Facing Edinson Volquez. His dad was a mechanic. Volquez's mom was a teacher and worked with the elderly in a hospital. He has 3 older sisters, a younger brother, and actually played more basketball than baseball growing up in the Dominican. The 3-2 pitch on the way. Abreu takes low, ball 4. So the Dodgers open up the third with a base runner, and that'll bring up Mark Ellis.
Second baseman, Mark Ellis.
So Volquez working on Ellis, who singled sharply in the first inning by the diving shortstop Amarista, and then Matt Kemp came up and singled to right. So Ellis, the offensive hero last night, with the home run right down the left field line. So Abreu at first, nobody out. Mark Ellis looks at a strike, and the count 0-1. By the way, we were talking last night about the number of pitches that Yonder Alonso saw in his first 2 at-bats. Bobby Abreu tonight is doing what Alonso did last night. Abreu's had 2 at-bats, and he's had 17 pitches in those 2 at-bats. The strike 1 pitch coming up to Mark Ellis. Right-handed deals, fastball hit to the gap in left center. It will land for a base hit. Cameron Maben gets it back in. Stopping at second is Abreu, and the Dodgers have something going. Mark Ellis is now 2 for 2. When Matt Kemp came up in the first inning, he singled to right field. Well, he's going to get his picture on the walls of post offices throughout San Diego, because in his last 13 games plus tonight, Matt Kemp is 22 for 50 against San Diego. That's a .440 batting average. He's had 19 RBIs. He's had 1 or more RBIs in 8 straight games against San Diego. He scored at least 1 run or more in 8 straight. So here's Kemp now trying to do some damage. 2 on and nobody out. Volquez in a 1-1 tie. Right-hander's fastball at the feet of Kemp. 1 ball and no strikes. On deck, Andre Ethier. Matt singled to right in the first inning. Last night, he doubled to left center, singled to center. Tonight, a base hit to right. So the mark of a truly solid player. He can go all directions. The 1-0 pitch on the way, and Kemp has a look, and that's a little low. 2 balls and no strikes to Matt. So Volquez facing certainly a hitter he does not relish to face. Kemp has a home run and is 4 for 8, hitting .500 against Volquez. So 2 on, nobody out, third inning. Volquez had retired 5 in a row. Then he walked Abreu and gave up the base hit to Ellis. Right-hander is 5 and 7 with the league. And his 2-0 pitch on the way to Kemp is taken low again, ball 3. Well, with Matt Kemp and his overall power, there's certainly nothing automatic about him taking 3-0, especially when the Dodgers have not been scoring runs of late. So let's see. Andre Ethier waits on deck. 3 balls and no strikes to Matt Kemp. 2 on, nobody out. 1-1 tie in the third. Certainly a moment of truth for Volquez. Edinson says no to catcher Grandal. Now he's ready. The 3-0 pitch to Matt. Right-hander set, very deliberate, delivers. It's taken for a strike, and the count 3-1. Some hitters just don't like to swing, even if they're given the green light 3-0. If I remember correctly, Eric Karros never liked to get the green light 3-0. Just didn't like the count. Maybe had a tendency to swing too hard, whatever. Time for the moment. Kemp digging in at home plate. So Abreu walked, Ellis singled, and now you have Kemp up there, 3-1, nobody out in a 1-1 tie. Volquez ready, checks his runners. The pitch to Kemp, check swing. They're going to charge him a strike. He was wrestling with that pitch. 3-2 the count to Matt. Trying desperately to hold the bat back. Didn't work. For Matt Kemp, he has struck out only 30 times while walking 21. Of course, that's complete after a 51 game absence. 3-2 will check the runners. Volquez ready. Double checks. Runners not going. Fastball fouled away. For Matt, with all of his other talents, he has only grounded into 4 double plays. So Abreu at second, Ellis at first. Chad Billingsley and Jason Marquis tomorrow at 1:10. Final game of the series, and then the Philadelphia Phillies will be in here starting Monday night. All right, 3-2 yet again. Volquez a check, the right-hander ready, deals, fastball line to right, coming up to play it on a hop is Venable. The runners had to hold, so they only move up one station, and the bases are loaded. So Matt Kemp just wild hot against San Diego. He has 4 hits in the 2 games and 2 sharp singles to right tonight. So with the bases loaded, the ball was hit so hard the runners had to hold in case it carried directly to Venable. And here is Ethier, who lifted a pop fly that certainly should have been caught in the first inning. Little Amarista went out. Carlos Quentin came in, and Quentin suddenly took his eye off the ball to see where Amarista was, then had to lunge, and it got away for a gift single for Ethier. So Andre checking in a 1-1 tie with the bases loaded and nobody out. This is a pivotal moment for San Diego and Volquez especially, and the pitch to Ethier low, ball 1. For a Padre team that is averaging 2 runs a game, they can't afford to get buried in any inning, but especially the third. For Andre Ethier, with the bases loaded, he has 4 grand slams. The last one he hit was up in Seattle on the 10th of June. The 1-0 pitch. Andre pulls away. That's low. Ball 2. 2-0. Ethier batting .291, 10 home runs, 56 runs batted in. So the Dodgers trying to tear it open. It's a tough 1-1 tie here in the third. Volquez rocks and turns, a 2-0 pitch, and that's in the dirt. Another nice save by Grandal, ball 3. So for Volquez, he has already walked 99 runners, and he's right on the edge. Check me on that. Let's see, he struck out 98 coming in, so he's gone over the 100 strikeouts, but he has already walked 64, so he's fighting it. And he's right on the edge here. 3-0 to Ethier. Remember, he went 3-0 to Matt Kemp. Right-hander ready, and the 3-0 pitch to Andre is swung on and fouled away. So Kemp didn't like his 3-0 and took it. Kemp watching and applauded when Ethier let the bat rip on that 3-0, but he fouled it off. So Abreu's at third, Ellis at second, Kemp at first, nobody out. 1-1, third inning. San Diego infield is back. Volquez certainly on the ropes. And the 3-1 pitch swung on, and that's going to go foul. 3-2 the count. Ethier muttering to himself. I think that was a pitch he felt that he should have driven. Instead, all he did was foul it off. I'm not sure which will make a hitter more angry, to have a plate umpire call a strike that he thought was a ball, or foul off a pitch that he thought he could drive. So 3-2 the count to Andre Ethier. Volquez going back-to-back 3-2 with Kemp and now Ethier. 3-2 pitch on the way. Swung on. Line drive. Base hit into right field. Abreu scores. Everybody else just moves up 90 feet. And the Dodgers now take a 2-1 lead. Andre Ethier's second hit. And a run batted in, his second. So now you have Ellis at third. Kemp at second. Ethier at first. A walk followed by 3 consecutive hits. And the Dodgers lead 2-1. Dodgers now have piled up 6 hits. They have 3 hits in a run in the first inning. So Andre Ethier, a line drive single to right, a 1-hopper to Venable. So the runners could only move 90 feet at a time. Darren Balsley out to talk to Volquez. The bullpen will be getting busy. Volquez on the ropes as Juan Rivera checks in. Rivera has 3 grand slams. Most recently was 6 years ago in Seattle. Rivera popped up in the first inning. So the Dodgers now with Ellis, Kemp, and Ethier. A run over, 2-1 Dodgers. Volquez into the windup and the pitch to Rivera. He gives on a breaking ball strike and the count 0-1. Miles Mikolas, a right-hander, begins to throw down in the San Diego bullpen. Padres don't really have the ability to come back when they're down by too many. So this is a very important inning. The next pitch is down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dodgers trying to win their 49th game. The Padres faced with the prospect of losing their 55th. 1-1. Ellis, Kemp, and Ethier taking their leads. Rivera on a slow breaking ball tries to hold up and can't. And the count 1-2. So Volquez fighting it. He had that one stretch in the second inning when he struck out the side. But now here in the third inning, the top of the order has given him a bad time, and it all began with a walk to Bobby Abreu. Ellis down the line from third. The pitch is taken low and away. Matt Kemp at second. Andre Ethier at first. Dodgers trying to get a lead, hold on, and beat San Diego for the 11th consecutive time here at home. 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Dodgers. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for the Padres. Volquez ready, and the 2-2 pitch. Rivera swings and fouls it away. Juan batting .251, 3 home runs, 27 runs batted in. Volquez has now made 62 pitches. He had 1 easy inning. He made 11 pitches in the second inning, but outside of that, it's really been tough. Volquez signed with the Texas Rangers. He was 17 years old. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And Rivera takes low, so he goes to a 3-ball count again. He went 3-0 to Kemp, eventually 3-2, and matched single to right. He went 3-0 to Ethier, 3-2, and Ethier single to right. Now he's 3-2 to Rivera, and Adam Kennedy is on deck. Nobody out, bases loaded, 2-1 Dodgers in the third. Volquez is fighting to stay in the game. Right-hander just staring in, so Rivera backs out. Volquez 5-7, 0-2 against the Dodgers. His victory against the Dodgers was when he was with the Reds. Now the 3-2 pitch, and Rivera takes ball 4. Everybody moves up, and the Dodgers lead 3-1. So Ethier goes to second. Kemp advances to third. Ellis brings home the run, scoring for a second time. It is now 3-1 Dodgers. The bases remain loaded. Still nobody out. Ellis getting a greeting. He had that single to left. So now Adam Kennedy, who grounded out to Alonso, coming up. Kennedy has 2 grand slams, most recently 4 years ago in Chicago. Had him hitting .226, 1 home run, 12 runs batted in. Kemp, Ethier, and Rivera out there. And the first pitch to Kennedy is driven in the air to Venable. Venable gets the throw off, holding the runner. Will got a good jump. He was ready to handle and throw. And Matt Kemp, with nobody out, did not want to risk running into a second out. So he held on, going back to the bag to tag. Then it was too late. So Kennedy hits the ball right at Venable. Bases remain loaded. And with 1 out, the batter is A.J. Ellis. And Kemp, Ethier, and Rivera wait. A.J. struck out in the 2nd inning. That's when Volquez struck out Ellis. Then he struck out Cruz. Then he got Aaron Harang. So 1 out after a walk followed by 3 consecutive singles and another walk. A.J. without a slam in his young career, and he takes breaking ball strike, and the count 0-1. Ellis looking down to Tim Wallach for the moment. Dodgers trying to break it open. They have 3, leading 3-1. Volquez looks down to Grandal to get a sign. Now the right-hander ready and delivers, and it's a borderline pitch taken for a strike. A.J. thought it might have been too high. Plate umpire Greg Carlson got the high part of the strike zone. So for the first hitter in the inning, Volquez is ahead. No balls, 2 strikes. Oh, and 2 the count to A.J. Volquez ready and comes back in the dirt. Ball 1. 1-2. Volquez basically a fastball that's been clocked as high as 97. Then he has the 2-seam, the sinker. Then he has a changeup and a curveball that's usually clocked somewhere in the high 80s. 1-2 the count. 1 away, bases loaded, 2 in. Dodgers lead 3-1. Kemp, Ethier, and Rivera all out on the line. Ellis, who has a lot of hits with 2 strikes on him this year, swings and doesn't get it, and down he goes, striking out a 2nd time. With all of it, that's strikeout number 5 for Volquez. Little breaking ball that just seemed to avoid the bat. And with 2 out, here comes Cruz. Louis struck out in the 2nd inning. So Volquez, I think, sees the light at the end of the tunnel now as he tries to fight his way out. Dodgers had the bases loaded with nobody out, and 2 hitters have produced 2 runs. Now 2 out. Volquez ready. Cruz swings a drive to right. Going back is Venable. Turns, makes the catch. All things considered, with 8 men coming to the plate, Volquez did well enough, leaving 3, allowing 2, and the Dodgers lead 3-1. You have Mark Ellis, Matt Kemp, and Andre Ethier. All three spent a while on the DL, and especially Kemp missing 51 games. And they have come back tonight, each with 2 hits. All three just coming off the DL. Dodgers having beaten San Diego 10 straight at home, trying to make it 11, and they're leading 3-1 as we go to the 4th inning. Padres trying to come back now. Quentin, Grandal, and Alonso. Quentin hit into a force play. Hard ground ball to Kennedy that scored a run. His biggest year, 36 home runs and 100 runs batted in for the White Sox back in 2008. Ball 1. One ball and no strike. And a high fly ball to deep center. Back goes Kemp to the track at the wall. Gone. The Carlos Quentin hits his 8th home run of the year. His 19th run batted in. And all of a sudden the Padres are just down by 1. The Quentin slowly cruising around the base paths. For Aaron Harang, that would be the 9th home run that he's allowed. Kemp just ran out of room. I think Matt thought he was going to have a play, and the ball just carried. It was 75 degrees when the game started. So Carlos Quentin, the local boy, hits one out to dead center. Ball 1 now to Yasmani Grandal. And that's in for a strike. So the local boy, the boy from Bellflower, who now moves to Chula Vista, Carlos Quentin, hits a home run, 3-2 in favor of the Dodgers. 2 balls and 1 strike to Yasmani Grandal from Cuba. Fouled away. Grandal, the switch hitter, who has homered from each side of the plate. Not only that, he has 2 right and 2 left. Little foul off to the left and out of play. No chance for AJ. Still 2-2 the count. If you weren't with us at the start of the game, it was a marvelous moment. Tommy John walked to the mound. TJ, winner of 288 games in his career, the first to be operated on by Dr. Frank Jobe. Pop fly, going out to get it. Cruz, 1 away. And Tommy went to the mound as if he was going to throw out the first pitch, and he said, "No, I got arm trouble. I can't pitch." He called Don Mattingly out. "I need somebody else." So he gave Mattingly the ball. Mattingly gestured, and it was Dr. Frank Jobe who performed the first many other Tommy John so-called operations. It has affected the lives of so many athletes, and it was great. Dr. Jobe honored tonight. He will also be honored tomorrow at the Baseball Reliquary in Pasadena. And he will receive the award, and it will be given to him by Tommy John again. So it's great. 1 ball and 1 strike. That's lifted to the left side of the infield. Adam Kennedy puts it away. So we have 2 down on the heels of the home run. And Will Venable coming up. Carlos Quentin. I'm not sure if he dreamt growing up about hitting a home run someday at Dodger Stadium, but he played Little League. He was big for his age. One ball and no strikes. 3 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers, 2 runs, 3 hits for the Padres. The boy from Princeton, Will Venable. 1-1. Venable's a good bunter. He has a half a dozen bunt singles. Hard foul, 1 and 2. And since Will is struggling, his average down to 247. You figure he's about ready to do almost anything. At his feet, 2 and 2. Will's father, Max, spent a little over 12 years in the majors. Played for the Giants, the Expos, and the Reds. He coaches in the Reds organization. And ball 3. Harang missing with a fastball at 92. Not only did Will play basketball, his mom played basketball at Dominican University. Ground ball to Rivera. So a home run followed by 1, 2, 3. And at the end of 3.5 innings, Dodgers 3, San Diego 2. New wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit AT&T.com/free your TV. Rethink possible. By El Pollo Loco, crazy you can taste. And by the full line of fuel-efficient vehicles at your Southern California Toyota dealer. Beautiful evening here in Los Angeles. It was 75 degrees when the game started. It's cooled down a few. And we go to the bottom of the fourth with the Dodgers leading the Padres 3-2. We're going to keep a very important eye on this one. The Astros and the Giants. Bottom of the fifth inning, no score. Tim Lincecum with 5 scoreless innings under his belt so far. Ground ball, one-handed by Alonso. And that will do it for Aaron Harang. 1 away. Say, don't forget Tuesday at 7:10, Dodgers and Phillies. Fans with the first 30,000 tickets receive their own beach chair, compliments of our friends at Farmer John. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotion. Tim Lincecum is 3-10. Twice a Cy Young Award winner, and the Giants are a half a game behind the Dodgers. Just imagine if Lincecum were 10-3. He's not, but it is Tim Lincecum who will decide the Giants' future this year. Ball 1 to Bobby Abreu, struck out and walked. He looked at a lot of pitches. And when you talk about walks, well, Bobby is moving up the ladder. 6 behind Double X, as they call Jimmy Fox. 18 behind Willie Mays. 2-0 the count. So Edinson Volquez, who had himself a bad third inning, starts right off 2-0 with Bobby Abreu. He did get the leadoff man, Aaron Harang. And ball 3. Volquez has made 70 pitches in the first 3 innings. Mark Ellis waits, and then Matt Kemp. 3-0. In there. Remember, he went 3-0 to Kemp, 3-0 to Ethier. They gave up base hits. Then he went 3-0 to Rivera and walked him. So now 3-1 to Bobby Abreu. At the knees, 3-2. The heat and the infield flies. So they're all waving him away. And ball 4. So Volquez has walked 3, and he is following most of the pattern that he has set upon throughout his career. We mentioned that he is on the wild side, and he has certainly been there. So now the batter is Mark Ellis, and then he's looking at Matt Kemp again. Edinson Volquez has had 39 3-0 counts this year. That's a strike. 39. One out, Abreu at first. Ellis single to center, single to left, 2 for 2, hitting .280. Breaking ball missing. 1-1 the count. On deck, Matt Kemp, 2 for 2 tonight with 4 hits already in the 2 games. 1 ball and 1 strike. There goes the runner Abreu. The knockdown pitch also gets away. So there's no play on Abreu as he steals. The pitch high and inside, and no chance. The ball also popped right out of Grandal's mitt. So for Bobby Abreu, that's his 3rd stolen base. Waiting on deck. I would think Volquez has trouble concentrating on the catcher with Kemp getting ready. So a runner at second, 1 out, 4th inning, 3-2 Dodgers. The opposition success rate against Volquez, 72%. He's only picked off 1 runner in his career. Well, he's behind again, 3-1. For a fellow who won over 120 games in the big leagues, it has to be maddening for Bud Black. And you have to look down at the San Diego manager. Remember how well he pitched, how great his knowledge of the game is, and all he can do is chew and watch. Line drive at third, that's all. Headley had no play at second. So Ellis finally makes an out, but it was a bullet. 2 down, and here comes Matt Kemp. So Chase Headley holds on to the line drive. Matt Kemp twice now has gone to right field with Volquez. So he has 4 hits in 6 at-bats, a double to left center, a single to center last night, and 2 singles to right tonight. So Matt is now hitting .370. 12 home runs, 28 runs batted in. Volquez on and off the rubber. Kemp in and out. Now they hook up. And now Matt backs out again. Volquez slowing the pace down a great deal. Breaking ball, got it for a strike. 0-1. Oh, and 2. Matt taking his time before getting back in after that big swing. Abreu at second with 2 out. 0-2 the count to Matt Kemp. Nope. Wants to talk to his catcher. Randall, of course, the rookie, having just been called up. The old story, catchers suggest and the pitcher makes the decision. Though he started Kemp with a curveball, he has not come near the fastball yet. 2 breaking balls, 0-2. So let's see. No real sign, they just talked it over. 1-2. Watch and see now the second. Will Grandal actually go through signs? Will he just hold up the thumb on his right hand, which is what he did the last time? Nope, he's going to signs. One ball and 2 strikes. And now Kemp's not ready. One and 2 with 2 out. Breaking ball got him down and away. So no runs, no hits, a man left. Volquez annoyed with himself apparently as he shakes his head walking off. Dodgers lead 3-2.
July 29th, 1996.
After 2 decades at the Dodgers helm, Tommy Lasorda announces his retirement. Lasorda led the club to 8 division titles, 4 National League pennants, and 2 World Series titles.
You are the greatest fan in the world. I've said that for 20 years, and I'm saying it tonight. Thank you for the memories.
Well, for Tommy Lasorda, fortunately, and for all of us, the memories continue. Tommy had his bobblehead tonight with Walter Alston, 2 great names in the history. Walter, of course, is long since gone, but thank goodness Tommy enjoying the evening. His wife Jo is here, and they were saluted before the game. Fifth inning, Cameron Maben, then the pitcher, Edinson Volquez, and the shortstop, Alexei Amarista. Maben hitting only .209, flied to right field in the second inning, bunts. Charging, bare hand pickup Kennedy to shoot him down. One away in the fifth inning. Not much deception, though Kennedy perfectly right on it immediately. The best bunters you ever see do not hold the bat out like Maben did. They cock it to an angle. So instead of the ball going, 15 feet, 20 feet wide of the third base foul line, when they cock the bat, it goes at an angle, stays much closer, and it's more of a surprise. So one away, 0-1. Teammates facing each other, 1 ball and 1 strike. One and two. Volquez hitting .065, grounded to third in the second inning. And ground ball to Kennedy. And we have 2 down here in the fifth inning. Well, it is time to get you stirring mentally a little bit. Question. Tommy John had a 22-win season at the age of 37. Who are the only 3 pitchers in the last 40 years to win 20 games at the age of 40? Well, the answer in a little while. Meanwhile, Harang has retired 5 in a row since the home run by Quentin. Here is Amarista, who flied to left and then almost cut Harang in half with a shot back to the box. In there. 1-1. Alexei Amarista. 4 home runs, 18 runs batted in. Big crowd this Saturday night. Hope you'll join us maybe tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Jason Marquis and Chad Billingsley. Little ground ball to Rivera. He'll hang it for Harang coming over. So that's 6 in a row retired since the home run. And at the end of 4.5, 3-2 Dodgers. Bottom of the 5th inning with the Dodgers leading 3-2. We can also tell you in the bottom of the 5th inning, the Giants came up with a run. Tim Lincecum and Henry Blanco walked. Ryan Theriot bounced into a double play. If he tried to bunt, couldn't do it. And then Melky Cabrera came through with a 2-out RBI single to score Lincecum, and the Giants lead 1-0. Andre Ethier, followed by Juan Rivera, Adam Kennedy. High pop foul off third. Headley backhands it. Nice play by Chase. So that takes care of Ethier. And we have 1 pitch and 1 out. You know, Tuesday, July 31st, Kirk Gibson bobblehead night, presented by San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino. Fans with the first 50,000 tickets receive a mini fist-pumping Gibson, celebrating his heroics in Game 1 of the '88 World Series. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Here's Rivera, popped up and walked. Ball 1. Volquez, among other things, is looking for a low pitch inning. He had an 11-pitch second inning, but he's labored every other inning. 1-1. He had made 86 pitches in the first 4 innings. He's up to 89. This will be 90. 2-1 the count. And looking at Volquez during the year, his last game against his old club Cincinnati, he made 127 pitches, no decision. At the strike, 2-2. 127 and in 7 innings. That's about as high a pitch count as any pitcher we've seen so far this year. Hit in the air to shallow right. Venable on the run. Base hit. So Rivera gets himself a fly ball single to right. He is 1 for 2, and the batter will be Adam Kennedy. Dodger hitting has been Ellis, Kemp, and Ethier. They have 6 hits amongst them, 2 apiece. Now Rivera gets a hit to give the club 7. Kennedy grounded out, flied out, 0 for 2. Fly ball to right field was hit pretty hard, but right at Venable. And ball 1. Rivera is 0 for 2 in stolen bases. Kennedy basically a fly ball hitter, though he's only grounded into 3 double plays. So we'll see what all that means. A.J. Ellis on deck. There goes Rivera, hit and run foul ball. 1-1 the count. Walter Alston was a firm believer. If you had confidence in a play and you put it on and the hitter fouled it off, if it was good enough in the first place, put it on again. 1-1. Rivera goes, put it on again. It's missed at the plate. Bad throw into center field. So on his way to third goes Rivera. So Walter's philosophy carries over. And of course to get burned on it is Bud Black. Looked like they had him dead to rights, and it was a bad throw. One hopper that eluded Amarista, although in looking, Amarista took his eye off the ball. Again, it could have been the shortstop was worrying about Rivera. So earlier we saw Quendon take his eye off the ball. Now we see the shortstop take his eye off. It'll be a stolen base and an error charge to Grandal. Here is Adam Kennedy with a 1-2 count. The infield has to play up, and Adam promptly strokes it to right for a base hit. Run scores. Kennedy on his way to second. Venables throw, not in time. And the Dodgers lead 4-2 as the Padres just can't make the play, and the Dodgers take advantage of it. So Venable gets it back in, but not much of a chance to get Kennedy. And A.J. Ellis now will be coming up. Brad Brock is loosening up now in the San Diego bullpen. Ellis has struck out twice. Volquez has struck out 6. Fouled away, 0-1. So with 1 out, Rivera got a pop fly single. Steele second, although it looked like they had him beaten, only to have Amarista not stay with the ball. And then with the runner at third, a double by Adam Kennedy. So 0-1 to count to A.J. Ellis. So Walston was right as usual. If it's a good play, put it on, come back and put it on again. 1-1. A.J. hitting .279. 7 home runs, 28 runs batted in. Dodgers 4, Padres 2. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-2 the count. Ellis so far this year has struck out 65 times and walked 43. Of course, for the regular season catcher, the guy who grinds it out, you always figure to see a decline in the batting average as they tire noticeably in the second half. Not to say he's tired now. 2-2. But it is such a demanding position. You really have to be super strong not to have the season affect you when you're a catcher. You can see the first 27. Matt Trainer can tell you all about it, I'm sure. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, Kennedy at second. 4-2 Dodgers. And in the dirt, nice save again by Grandal. When the Padres come up in the 6th inning, they will have Forsythe, Headley, and Quentin. Volquez just did survive the 3rd inning when he made 35 pitches. His pitch count gone up. He's now made 101, and he's only in the 5th inning. Fastball. Ellis just does get a little of it. Four runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers, 2 runs, 3 hits for the Padres. But boy, that's a lot of pitches. 102 pitches, and he's not out of the 5th inning. Three and 2 with Cruz on deck. And a high fly ball, very playable. Tagging up is Kennedy. The catch by Venable, and Adam will move over to third. So Ellis gets his man over, but it's the 2nd out, and it'll bring up Luis Cruz. Cruz has struck out, fly to right, 0 for 2. Headley playing up at the bag at third, and they're going to walk Cruz intentionally now. Take their chances against Aaron Harang. So 4 walks and 6 strikeouts and a lot of pitches. And in a moment, Harang, who has struck out and grounded out. Three and 0, 1 to follow. Black trying everything he can to keep it close. When you're averaging 2 runs a game and you're down 4-2, you're already in some trouble, and you just don't want to let it get away. So although managers hate to walk the number 8 hitter, there are times when you just have to do it. The thinking always was get the number 8 hitter for the last out, so you have the pitcher leading off the next. But not when you're struggling for runs. So here's Harang hitting less than 100. The other thing about an intentional walk, and it's always struck me as a possible problem, when you break the pitcher's natural inclination to throw a strike, and you tell him, I want you to throw 4 purposefully wide, is it hard then to come back to throw strikes? Well, he missed 1 ball, but he's come back with a strike. 1-1 the count to Aaron Harang. 4-2 Dodgers, only in the 5th inning. One ball and 1 strike. One and 2. High fastball at 91. Kennedy at third, Cruz at first, 2 out. And a slow curveball hit wide at third. Headley makes the play and the inning's over. That was only 78 miles an hour, kind of a shocking pitch at that time. At the end of 5, 4-2 Dodgers. The Dodgers were playing the Florida Marlins. The Dodger pitcher was Ramon Martinez, and Ramon pitched a no-hitter as the Dodgers beat the Marlins 7-0. It was almost a perfect game. He walked 1, struck out 8, and that walk was the only man allowed to get on base. For the Dodgers, it was the 9th no-hitter in LA Dodger history, and for Dodger Stadium, it was the 9th no-hitter here. So a lot happened on this day back in 1995. Let's take a look at this one, and we'll go back. Harang battling his old ball club, former teammate Edinson Volquez, and we move on to the 6th inning. Logan Forsythe, Chase Headley, and then Carlos Quentin. That would be the heart of the offense for the Padres. Logan single to right, grounded to first, so he's gone the other way twice. That's ball 1. Edinson Volquez made 25 more pitches in the 5th inning. He has now made 111 pitches in 5 innings. One and one to Forsythe with Headley on deck. 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Dodgers. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for the Padres. Two and 1. Talking about dates and great games. One of the top games that we have seen between the Dodgers and the Padres, you'd have to go all the way back to July of 1971. The game was in San Diego. The pitchers were Al Downing of the Dodgers, Dave Roberts of San Diego. Dodgers scored the only run in the 9th inning. A full 9-inning game that went 1 hour and 40 minutes. Both Downing and Roberts pitched complete game 6 hitters. That was something. So here's Headley now, who is capable of hitting the ball out. He has 8 home runs. So Harang, who gave up the home run to Quentin, has to be very careful now. Headley reached on the error by Rivera and struck out, and Quentin is on deck. Headley batting .265. 0-1. Forsythe held on by Rivera. 0-2. Fastballs in on the hands, and Headley unable to get around on him yet. Oh, and 2 to Chase. And a high fly ball to right field. Ethier to the track. At the scoreboard, we have a brand new ball game. Chase Headley hits his 9th home run, and the Dodgers and Padres are even. By the way, and of course it's something we've been pointing out for all year long, the count on Headley on an 0-2 fastball right down the pipe, and the count was no balls and 2 strikes. Wow. They play such a different game today. Oh, 9 home runs for Chase, 4 against the Dodgers, and we have a 4-4 tie. And a strike. 0-1 to count to Quentin. It is really hard to believe on a no ball 2 strike count that a hitter who has 8 home runs, who's already hit 3 of the 8 against the Dodgers, and he would get a no ball 2 strike fastball right down the middle. Headley said thank you very much. For Aaron Harang, he now has given up 10 home runs. Down goes Quentin, and in a 4-4 tie, it'll be Yasmani Grandal, who is single to left and popped up 1 for 2. 4 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers, 4 runs, 4 hits for the Padres. Each side scored in the first inning. In all honesty, neither side should have scored in the first inning. Then the Dodgers got 2 in the third. Padres came back with 1. Dodgers came back with another to lead 4-2, and the Padres have picked up 2 to tie it up. Andre Ethier has 2 hits and has knocked in 2. Adam Kennedy has a double to drive in 1. Matt Kemp has had 2 hits, and they're 4-4. Line foul down the left field line. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 6th inning, they'll have Abreu, Ellis, and Kemp. Whether they send Volquez out there or not remains to be seen, after making 111 pitches in 5 innings. 3-2. Ground ball to Rivera. He'll do it himself. 2 down, and the batter will be Yonder Alonso. Remember the trivia question? It had to do with Tommy John, who won 22 at the age of 37, who were the only 3 pitchers in the last 40 years to win 20 at the age of 40. Gaylord Perry, Phil Niekro, and Jamie Moyer. What was the line about? Somebody said Gaylord Perry was using a foreign substance, and the answer was it was Vaseline, and that's made in America. Well, anyway, 0-1. By the way, in talking about Tommy John winning 280 games, he didn't win the cherished 300. Shy by 12. Tommy, with his 288, the most ever by a pitcher who didn't win 300. He's the only pitcher ever to win 20 for the Dodgers and the Yankees in a single season. Fly ball, very playable. Abreu's at the other end of it. However, the home run on a no-ball, 2-strike fastball right down the middle, and we're even at 4. here because Edinson Volquez had made 111 pitches in 5 innings. He's through for the night. Aaron Harang has made 93. As you can see, Harang has only allowed 4 hits, but 2 of the 4 hits are home runs. And Volquez was wild with 4 walks compared to Aaron's 1. So Aaron Harang is still in the game, tied 4-4. And for Volquez, a gritty 5 innings, 111 pitches, and he gives way for Brad Brock. Brad Brock, 6'6", 210 pounds, out of Freehold, New Jersey, 26 years old. A Padres 42nd round pick 4 years ago. Went to Monmouth University in New Jersey. Baseball, fastball, splitter, and slider. So 4-4, and here's Brock. Bobby Abreu to start it off. And a strike. Abreu tonight struck out in the first inning, has walked twice, stolen a base, and scored a run. 1 ball and 1 strike. A report out of San Francisco. Hector Sanchez doubled home Angel Pagan in the 6th inning. The Giants now lead 2-0. Just as important, and maybe more so, is what Lincecum is doing. Ground ball to first, Alonso, and we have 1 away. Tim Lincecum has cruised through the 7th inning. He has a 4-hit shutout, and he has struck out 9 Astros. Of course, lifetime he's 5-0 against Houston, and has an earned run average of about 1 against them. So here's Ellis, single to center and scored, single to left and scored, and lined out to third. Strike. 0-1. Brock works quickly, likes to work the bottom part of the strike zone. 0-2. Ball 1. One thing Brock has done, I'm not sure when he did it, he has changed his position on the mound. He normally worked right at the edge of the third base side of the rubber, but he has moved over to the first base side. You would think at 6'6", if he were on the third base side, he'd really give right hand hitters a bad time, but obviously he's moved the other way. And see you later, Mark Ellis. So Brad Brock comes in, gets Abreu, strikes out Ellis, and now he'll go up against Matt Kemp in a 4-4 tie. Matt Kemp is hitting .333, 1 for 3 against Brock, and that 1 was a home run. Matt 2 singles to right and struck out. And a strike. Trying to keep that ball down and out in front. I remember Brad Brock at the opening of the season. They had cut him. He didn't make the club. So he was heading for the farm club, Tucson. And he was driving first to the airport to pick up his girlfriend. She was thinking that they were going to start the season in San Diego. That's a strike, even though Matt bailed. 1-2 the count. Anyway, he picked up his girlfriend at the airport, and now they started to drive to Tucson. And he had a cell phone in the arm of the car, and it started to ring, and he was down. He didn't feel like talking to anybody, but he picked it up out of curiosity, and he recognized it was a San Diego number. So he called. So what's up? And they said, turn around and come back. Where are you now? Well, he said, I'm on my way to Tucson. Nope. Get back here Joe Saunders hurt himself, hurt his arm, and we need you. And he's been with them ever since. Ground ball to the hole. No play. Amaris was going to try to make it, but he couldn't do it. So Matt Kemp comes up with his 3rd hit tonight and his 5th hit in the series. A 2-out single to short. Amarista gave it his best shot, but not a chance. Watch Matt run. And he's running hard. Did not appear to be favoring the leg. That puts a smile on his face as well as the base hit. So match 3 for 4, and here is Andre Ethier. Single to left, single to right. Fouled out to third. Ball 1. Andre with his 2 singles. Singled in the 1st inning and scored Ellis. Singled in the 3rd inning and scored Abreu. Fouled away. 1-1. We have a 4-4 tie. Bottom of the 6th inning. Aaron Harang still in there. Edinson Volquez went 5, allowed 4 runs, made 111 pitches. He's in the dugout, still full of beans, but he's no longer in the game. 1-1. I don't know. Do you think Kemp would try to steal? Do you think he's feeling that frisky? Matt had 2 stolen bases before he got hurt. In the dirt. Nice save by Grandal. Matt had 2 stolen bases, but he was also caught 3 times. And maybe they'll keep him at first base, keep Alonso on the bag, and open up the right side. 2-1, 2 out, 4-4, bottom of the 6th. And a drive to right, no doubt about it. Gone. And the Dodgers lead 6-4 thanks to Andre Ethier. Brad Brock now allows his 6th home run in 30 innings. And Andre Ethier crushed it. I mean, there was no doubt about that one. For Andre, his last home run was at Seattle, and that was June the 10th. 0-1 to Rivera. So the 2-out single to the hole at short by Kemp. And what a combination. Kemp and Ethier tonight. 6 hits between them. Ethier has 4 runs batted in. Well, Brad Brock gives up the 2-out single and the home run. Oh, 2 to Rivera. 1-2. Down in the Dodger bullpen as Rivera takes strike 3. Josh Lindblom begins to loosen up. And at the end of 6, one more look. Ethier's home run, and the Dodgers take a 6-4 lead. Right cross. For the Dodgers, it's center fielder Kemp and the right fielder Ethier. And the Dodgers lead 6-4 as we go to the 7th inning. As Kemp has 3 hits, Ethier has 3 hits, including the home run. And Aaron Harang, refreshed with a 2-run lead, pitching to Will Venable. Ball 1. Tony Gwynn out there in left field while his dad is watching him play. Tony Sr. is here telecasting the game back to San Diego. There's Tony Jr. and Sr.'s up here just to our left. 8 times batting champion, the remarkable Tony Gwynn. Over 3,000 hits, all with the Padres. 19th on the all-time Major League Baseball list. 1 year of his batting championship was a surprise, and that was 1988. 1988, Tony Gwynn won a batting championship. He hit .313. That's one of the lowest batting averages for a batting champ. But he had some marvelous ones. Holy mackerel. Two and one to count. High fly ball. Kemp going back on it to the track at the wall. So Will Venable, a long fly ball to center, 1 away. Aaron Harang, after having given up 2 home runs tonight, had to will that thing to stay back in the park. Here's Cameron Maben, flied to right, struggling very much with the bat. So he tried to bunt his way aboard in the 5th inning, but was thrown out easily, hitting only .208. Scott Elbert, the left-hander, has joined Josh Lindblom in the Dodger bullpen. Check swing, no swing, says Jerry Davis. He's the crew chief. 1 ball and no strikes. Maben 4 home runs, 24 runs batted in. And that's popped up. It will be Mark Ellis. Two out, 7th inning. Brad Brock is due up, and they look like they will go to the bat rack, and they will send up Jesus Guzman.
Batting for Brock, number 15, Jesus Guzman.
So Jesus ready to check in. Guzman is from Venezuela. Last year, during a 76-game stretch with runners in scoring position, Guzman hit .431. I mean, he electrified the town. Ball 1. He has 8 pinch hits and 7 runs batted in. Guzman spent 10 years in the minor leagues. That's a high strike, 1-1. After 10 years, he was originally signed by the Mariners, and he made it for 12 games with the Giants and then went right back down again. 1-2 to Guzman. Harang due to bat 4th when the Dodgers hit in the bottom of the 7th, but his pitch count now is at 102. Just off the plate. 2-2. He's retired 5 in a row since the home run by Headley. Light breeze blowing out to right field. And down goes Guzman. Down go the Padres. And at the end is 6.5, 6-4 Dodgers. And Matt Kemp and Andre Ethier look like a very successful dance team, but they've also been helped by Mark Ellis in front of him, and that's where it's all happened, as the Dodgers 6 runs and 10 hits, Padres 4 runs, 4 hits. The Dodgers have done it with 1 home run and just 1 other extra base hit, and that was a double by Adam Kennedy. Padres surprised a little bit by 2 home runs tonight, but the Dodgers have been able to move ahead again. So we go now to the bottom of the 7th inning. Miles Michaelis will be the pitcher. Made his major league debut the 5th of May. He went to Nova Southeastern Florida. He's from Tequesta, Florida, and he lives in Jupiter. He's been a pro for really since 2009, so he's made rapid progress. And his first pitch to Adam Kennedy is in for a strike. Michaelis is 6'5" and 220. Basically, fastball, curve, changeup. Over the top, so he has that downward plane. They love that, especially you have big pitchers, and he's 6'5" and 220. 1-2 the count. So Miles Michaelis picking up for Brad Brock, who had picked up for Edinson Volquez. 1-2. Check swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Ronald Belisario begins to warm up. Boy, you talk about Matt Kemp and Andre Ethier, and they are a force indeed. But you look in the Dodger bullpen, and you're looking at quite a force. Line drive, base hit to left field. Over to get it is Quentin, and Kennedy holds on with his second hit. He had a double, now a line drive single to left. So you're hitting the road. Remember the Dodgers, you can take them with you. Subscribe to MLB.TV today. See every Dodger out of market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Dodgers.com to order and get more details. MLB.TV. Baseball everywhere. A.J. Ellis struck out twice, flied to right. A strike, 0-1. Aaron Harang went 7 innings and made 104 pitches. Edinson Volquez went 5 innings and made 111. 0-2. With Belisario warming up, we would certainly assume that Harang will call it a night, and certainly is the pitcher of record and a chance to pick up his 7th win. And that's going to go down the line, foul and out of play. Game 2 of the 3-game series. It is the 11th meeting of the year between the two clubs. Remember, not only have the Dodgers beaten the Padres 8 out of 10, should they win tonight, they will have beaten the Padres 11 straight here at Dodger Stadium. One of the things that Aaron Harang did pretty well tonight, he walked only 1. But wouldn't you know, right on the heels of the walk, he gave up the home run to Chase Headley. And strike 3 call. So A.J. Ellis struggling right now. And with 1 out, the batter will be Luis Cruz. Cruz struck out, flied to right, and was walked intentionally. Where Harang stands to pick up the victory if the Dodgers hold on. The loser would be Brad Brock. who gave up that big 2-run home run to Ethier. 6 runs, 11 hits for the Dodgers, 4 runs, 4 hits for the Padres. And a strike. 0-1. Cruz batting .259. Taking a long look at Tim Wallach. After Cruz would be Aaron Harang's spot, but he will not be coming up. Dodgers will go to the bench. Ground foul. And it's Jerry Hairston loosening up on deck. Hairston led off last night and was 1 for 4. He was on base when Mark Ellis hit the game-winning home run. 1 out, 0-2 to Cruz. Pulled foul. Miles Michaelis, the third pitcher. Volquez, Brock, and Michaelis. Dodgers with Harang, and from the looks of things, he'll be followed by Ronald Belisario. (0-2). Little dribbler back to the box. A play at second, and a great save at second base by Logan Forsythe. Wow. Forsythe making a good play. The young pitcher almost threw it away, hesitated, and then threw low, backhanded with his foot on the bag. Right there, toes there. Ball is an ice cream cone, but he's got it. And Mike Cuzzy said, okay. So 2 down, and here's the announcement on Jerry Hairston. So Hairston batting for Harang. Up north, the Giants 2, the Astros nothing. They're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Tim Lincecum has struck out 11 through 8 innings of 5-hit shutout ball. He has also made 114 pitches. Boys guaranteed, if Lincecum comes back after such a dreadful first half, we are in for some horse race. And remember, the last 3 games of the season, of the regular season, are with the Giants here at Dodger Stadium. 2-0. So 2 out, Cruz at first. 2-0 the count on Hairston, and a big crowd in the house. A sellout, 54,014 off the plate. For the Dodgers, their 7th sellout of the year. 54,014. Dodgers trying to win their 29th of 45 home games. 3-0 to Hairston. Ball 4. Well, Michaelis gave up the single, then struck out Ellis, got Cruz on the force, only to walk Hairston. Dodgers have received 6 walks. Tony Gwynn, who took over in left field for Abreu, will now bat. Gwynn, of course, played for San Diego for a couple of years, though he has played before his father many times. And yet, I'm sure for the moment, let's say when he's on the on-deck circle, he's got to be thinking about hitting again with his dad watching. Tony hitting .242. 2 on, 2 out. And ball 1. 6 runs, 11 hits for the Dodgers, 4 runs on only 4 hits for the Padres. 3 of the 4 Padre runs a direct result of 2 home runs. That's a strike. Tony, with 17 runs batted in, has been extremely valuable as a starter and as a late inning replacement in the outfield. With runners in scoring position, he's been hitting .292. Slow breaking ball for a strike. That came up there at 74. There you go. Tough act to follow. One ball and 2 strikes. Of course, there's another brother who played for the Dodgers, Chris Glynn. Every now and then I use his name instead of Tony's just because Chris played here. Two on, 2 out, 1 and 2, and a little roll at a shortstop. Amarista's on the bag, and that's that. So no runs, a hit, a walk, and 2 left. And we have 7 in the books, 6-4 Dodgers. Dodgers. Matt Kemp has been busy, so has Andre Ethier. Matt Kemp, for instance, in the first inning, a sharp single to right field. That set up a run. In the third inning, a single to right field set up another. Matt then had an infield single to short, and he was aboard when Andre Ethier came up and hit a home run. So Matt, in the 2 games since coming off the DL, 5 for 8, and he has just completely worn out the Padres. Last 14 games, a .453 batting average. Amazing. Andre Ethier, all he's done, single to left to drive in a run, single to right to drive in a run, and hit a 2-run home run. So Andre with 3 hits and 4 runs batted in. Jerry Hairston, who batted for Harang, stays in the game at third base. Ronald Belisario will go into Adam Kennedy's spot. And we go to the 8th inning as Belisario will face Amarista, Forsythe, and Headley. Ball 1. when the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 8th, they'll have Ellis, Kemp, and Ethier. 2-0 to Amarista, who is 0 for 3, starting tonight at shortstop instead of Everett Cabrera. Right. And that's going to be hit to the gap. I'll tell you, Amarista's something. And he has himself at least a double, and he's going to stop. He was thinking 3 until a perfect throw to the cutoff man, Mark Ellis. And as he saw that, he jammed on the brakes. Don't forget tomorrow, Jason Marquis, a record of 1-5, but a good earned run average. Chad Billingsley trying to snap a losing streak. He is 4-9. And that'll be the final game of the 3-game series. And then the Phillies will be here Monday night. So Amarista with a long double, and Logan Forsythe as the Padres try to come back. Dodgers led 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, then tied 4-4, and the Dodgers now lead 6-4. High bouncer caught by Hairston. His only play is to first as Amarista ran on by. So coming up now will be Chase Headley, who had reached on an error and struck out, but in the 6th inning he unloaded on a no-ball 2-strike fastball into the right field pavilion. That tied up the game, and then Andre Ethier untied it. So Amarista at third, 1 out. Headley 1 for 3, batting .267. Right. His home run, the 9th that he has hit this year. And Chase has 44 runs batted in. Chase Headley 1 for 4 in the past against Belisario. Belisario pitched the 8th inning last night, made only 10 pitches, and retired the side quickly on 2 ground balls and a strikeout. Just off the plate, 1-1. One and one to Headley. Fouled away. Chase went to school at the University of Tennessee. He usually is up there for a while. He averages better than 4 pitches in at bat. He does swing and miss a lot. 1-2. One out. Amarista at third. And Headley strikes out. Remember last night the Padres were 0 for 12 with runners in scoring position. And Headley misses a curveball by a lot, and down he goes. So 2 out. The runner's still at third. And the batter is Carlos Quentin. Quentin hit into a force play, hit a home run, and struck out. Belisario has struck out 26 and walked 13. And ball 1. If you are wondering about Quentin, who has 8 home runs, hitting out another, Belisario has allowed 1 home run this year. Giants are leading the Astros 2-0 in the top of the 9th inning. Fouled at the plate. Santiago Casilla has come on to save for Tim Lincecum. Lincecum Pitched 8 shutout innings, struck out 11. Quinton, and we mentioned it last night, has been a bit of a disappointment. Now he's hitting .269. He has 8 home runs and 19 runs batted in. However, with 2 out and runners in scoring position, he is 0 for 14. He had been 0 for 12. Now throughout this series, 0 for 14. Ball 2. Carlos went to school at Stanford. Has had some big years. And too much time. Belisario and Quinton, they have never faced each other before. 2-1. And pull foul down the line. 2-2 to Carlos. Amarista, who opened up with a double, went to third on a high chopper wide of third. Stayed there as Headley struck out. Two balls, 2 strikes. Ball 3. On deck, the switch hitting catcher, Yasmani Grandal. Three and 2 to Quinton. And pulled down the line, foul. Nice catch by the ball boy. So it's still 3-2. Quinton hit into a force play, homered, and struck out. Last night, he had 1 hit, a single to left, 1 for 4. Three and 2. And it's going to be hit into right center for a base hit. Amarista scores. And so Quinton has to feel so much better about that. He is 1 for 15 with 2 out and a runner in scoring position. He brings in Amarista, and that makes it 6-5 Dodgers. So now the tying run at first, and the batter is Yasmani Grandal. 2 hits and 2 RBIs for Carlos Quinton. Shot off the leg of Belisario, goes over to Ellis, who makes the play. Whoa. Ronald Belisario got hit hard on the leg, but just walks off the field. And we're heading to the bottom of the 8th, 6-5 Dodgers. 6-5 lead, bottom of the 8th inning. Ellis, Kemp, and Ethier will be coming up before the sellout crowd of 54,014. Miles Michaelis, who pitched the last inning, the 7th, will now work here in the bottom of the 8th. Meanwhile, noise up north. The Astros have tied up the Giants. Chris Snyder strikes out on a pitch in the dirt. The throw to first is wide, and Justin Maxwell scored from second base and 2 out to tie up the game. So after a tremendous effort by Tim Lincecum, 8 innings shutout, 11 strikeouts, Garcia has let the Astros tie on a strikeout wild pitch. Ball 2, 2-1. Belisario made 18 pitches in his 1 inning, and from the looks of things, he will then give way to Kenley Jansen to pitch the 9th. 2-1. Ball 3. Ellis single to center, single to left, lined out to third, and struck out. He is 2 for 4. 3-1. 3-2. Six runs, 11 hits for the Dodgers, 5 runs, 6 hits for the Padres. And Ellis will reach for the 3rd time with a base on balls. And the batter will be Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp single to right in the 1st, single to right in the 3rd, struck out in the 4th, single to deep short in the 6th. And then the RBI man is on deck, Andre Ethier, who has driven in 4 of the Dodgers' 6 runs. So Miles Michaelis facing Matt Kemp. Off speed, ball 1. Two and 0. Volquez, Brock, and Michaelis. Brock stands to lose unless the Padres can tie or go ahead. Harang, Belisario, and probably Jansen. And Harang has a good shot of winning if the Dodgers can hold on. Dodgers a far more successful club in 1-run games than San Diego. San Diego in 1-run games, they've been in 25, and they've won 12 of the 25. The Dodgers have been in 33 1-run games, and they've won 19. And Andre Ethier waits. 2-1 to Matt Kemp. Ellis at first, nobody out. Off speed and a fly ball to left field. Under it is Clinton to make the catch. Ellis tags but holds on. It was a 74-mile-an-hour changeup, and Kemp just missed hitting it out. Well, here's a guy who didn't miss hitting it out. It came in the 6th inning after Matt Kemp had an infield single. Fastball knee high over the plate. Adios, goodbye. Ethier's had a big night. Single to left, single to right, and then the 2-run home run to get in 4 RBIs. And that will be all for Michaelis. They'll go to the bullpen for Ethier, and we'll be right back. a left-hander out of Claremont, California, originally drafted by the Giants, went to school at San Diego State. He came up to the Giants in 08 and 09, then went back down to the minor leagues, and finally surfaced this year with the Padres. His grandmother had a lot to do with Alex playing baseball. His parents had him in martial arts, so Henshaw asked his grandma if she'd teach him how to throw a baseball. And she started him out with a tennis ball, and he worked his way up. And here he is out of Claremont, pitching in Dodger Stadium. Facing Andre Ethier. For Ethier, when he hit that home run in the 6th inning, it was his first Dodger Stadium home run in 2 months. His last home run here for the home folks was the 14th of May. And ball 1. Andres had a big night. Single to left for an RBI, single to center, fouled out, 2-run home run, 4 RBIs, and with 11 home runs, way ahead of last year's pace. Big curveball fouled away. For Ethier, not only has he improved, once upon a time having that bad knee and then the surgery, he's also doing a little bit better, but not wearing left-handers out. Hitting .325 against right-handers, .237 against lefties. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tried to time that slow curveball, couldn't do it. 1-2. Alex Henshaw, like so many, had the Tommy John operation. He got fastball, cutter, curveball, and big sweeping slider. At San Diego State, he majored in religious studies. 1-2. And a hard breaking ball takes care of Ethier. So Andre goes down swinging for the 2nd out. And the batter will be Juan Rivera, who has popped up, walked, singled, struck out. Scored a run. Knocked in a run. So Rivera hitting .254. Henshaw, by the way, had the Tommy John surgery while he was in college at San Diego State. Fastball, 1 ball, no strikes. When Henshaw was still an amateur, turned out that he was drafted 4 times, 3 times by the Giants. Pretty good fastball, got that up to 92. Alex is lean, he's 6'3" and maybe 180. He'll be 30 in October. Out on deck is Juan Uribe to bat for Belisario. 2 out, 1-1 the count to Rivera. In the dirt. Well, I'll say one thing, Grandal has done a very good job. The boy from Cuba has had his nose in the dirt most of the night. Remember the starter, Edison Volquez, in 5 innings made 111 pitches. 2-1 to Rivera. Ellis at first with 2 out. 6-5 Dodgers, bottom of the 8th. Breaking ball, a hopper on his knees is Headley, throws just in time. Boy, that thing was hit hard. So down go the Dodgers in the 8th. Kenley Jansen is getting ready, and we're going to the 9th. 6-5 Dodgers. Lead. They led 3-1 and 4-2. Then it was tied 4-4. Then the Dodgers got ahead 6-4. San Diego came back with 1 in the 8th to make it 6-5. Jansen will be pitching to Yonder Alonso, Will Venable, and Cameron Maben, and then the pitcher spot. Jansen made 15 pitches last night, walked 1. Forsythe, you may remember last night, hit the ground ball, and Rivera had it right at his glove. Otherwise, Amarista, who was running from second, would easily have scored to tie up the game. So Jansen, after 15 pitches last night, comes right back in to face Alonso. Yonder struck out, popped up, flied to left. Meanwhile, up north, the Giants let that lead get away. The Astros tie it up, and they go into extra innings, 2-2. Alonso 0 for 3, batting .258, 3 home runs, 23 runs batted in. And 1 the count. For Kenley Jansen, and looking at his important numbers, 14 walks, 63 strikeouts, and a line drive into left field for a base hit. Gwynn up with it cleanly. So Alonso opens up with a single. Belisario pitched the 8th inning, and Amarista opened up with a double. So the leadoff men giving the Dodger relievers a tough time. And a clean single by Alonso puts the tying run aboard. The bottom 3 in the San Diego lineup is hitless. Everett Cabrera will now run for Alonso. So when you look at Venable, Mabel, and the pitcher spot, nothing. Venable, 2 ground balls and a fly ball. Venable then followed by Maben, fly to right, bunted, and was thrown out and popped up, and then the pitcher. So nothing has come from the bottom third. Venable batting .245. Will has 6 home runs, 21 runs batted in. Ethier very deep in right. Kemp shading a little towards left center. Everett Cabrera is setting a San Diego record. Cabrera is 15 for 15 in stolen bases. Not a bad guy to have representing the tying run. So Jansen has two players to contend with. Cabrera the runner, Venable the batter. And a strike. 0-1. For Everett Cabrera to go 15 for 15 to start a season, that's the longest streak in Padre history. And before he was called up, he was 15 for 15 at Tucson. He's got a good lead now. Yeah, you can't let him get there. We've always pointed out that point at the cutout by the bag. And when you see a runner get to that point, it's very hard for the pitcher to go to the plate. And he had reached that point. Immediately, Jansen backed off the rubber, and Rivera went to the mound. Of course, when you have Dave Roberts coaching at first, you have an expert, just like the Dodgers have with Davey Lopes. Jansen is in trouble with a good runner who's almost to the point now. And that's going to be hit into left field. And around second, heading for third is the tying run. He is in there. Everett Cabrera on a flare to left field comes all the way to third. And boy, the Padres are really in business now. So all of a sudden, the bottom third of the lineup is heard with the base hit by Venable. Cabrera, who had a big lead, is able to take the base, and barely. So first and third, nobody out. 6-5. A.J. Ellis, reminding the infield, knocked the ball down. Maben has flied to right, tried to bunt for a base hit and was thrown out and popped up. And out on deck, as he appeared last night, Mark Kotsay to pinch hit. Maben with 2 home runs against Jansen. So the Padres trying to come battling back here in the 9th. Jansen made 15 pitches last night. And a strike. 0-1. With the tying run just 90 feet away, you want to check on Jansen for sure. And you find out that he has, just to make you a little edgy, 3 wild pitches. No balls, 1 strike. They run on Jansen. The league is 14 out of 14. A bluff bunt the runners were holding, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. So Black, whose club has been averaging a little more than 2 runs a game, now have scored 5 and need another to tie it up. Will Venable over there at first base is also a pretty good runner. He's stolen 8. One ball and 1 strike. Cameron Maben has not been a productive hitter this year with runners in scoring position. Cameron is hitting only .200. So he has a big opportunity here. First and third, nobody out. Hairston in on the grass at third, everybody else back. And foul back. 1-2. Jansen coming with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Cameron Maben has struck out 69 times in about 320 at bats. 1-2, and Jansen certainly trying to put him away here. They have to watch Venable. Foul back. Jammed him in on the hands. That was 93. And the battle continues. So Kenley Jansen right in the middle of the griddle. Cabrera at third, Venable at first, nobody out. Dodgers trying to hold on to a 6-5 lead. Giants blew a 2-0 lead there in extra innings in San Francisco. Time. Don Mattingly in another tough one-run game. James Loney, the spectator. Big breaking ball, but not much on it. Way out of the zone. 2-2 the count. The last 38 games, including the break, of course, but in the last 38 games, Cameron Maybin has hit .263 with runners in scoring position. 2-2 the count. Venable, Carrera on the line. Another foul ball. So Maybin up there a while with Kotze on deck. 6 runs, 11 hits for the Dodgers. 5 runs, 8 hits for the Padres. Nobody out in the ninth. Everett Cabrera running for Alonso as the tying run at third. Will Venable a possible go-ahead run at first. The outfield playing Maybin straight away. 2-2. Venable has good running speed. He's been very successful in the past. He's stolen as many as 29 bases in the big league, so they really have to watch him. 2-2. He bluffs, and another foul ball. So far, it's been a 7-pitch at bat. Maybin has fouled off 4, and the battle continues. Jansen and Maybin. Maybin 2-for-6 with the 2 home runs in the past against Kenley Jansen. So Cabrera at third, Venable at first. 2-2 the count. Venable now has increased his lead a little bit. He's gone, and it's another foul ball. They figured sooner or later they would run Venable. Dodgers are in double play depth, nobody out. Venable looks over at Glenn Hoffman. Hoffman now goes over to say something to Cabrera. And Maybin is still up there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So we'll see if they try to run Venable again. Remember, they're successful 14 for 14 against Kenley Jansen. He's not gone. Foul ball. And a nice catch upstairs. So it's a 9-pitch at bat and 6 foul balls. Wow. Nobody out. First and third. 2-2 count. Dodgers trying to hold on to a 6-5 lead in the ninth. couple of no's, 3 in a row, 4 in a row. Maben said, wait a minute. By the way, a 9-pitch at bat. It is a 7-minute at bat. And Jansen has just shaken no 4 times. Now he agrees. 2-2. Venable not going. And ball 3. Tried to come inside and get the corner, and he missed. And Mattingly chews harder and faster on the gum. You can see Ellis trying to jerk it into the strike zone, but Greg Carlson wouldn't go for it. Ellis now again reminding the infield, knock the ball down. Question is, will Black run Venable 3-2 with nobody out? Cabrera ready to come down the line from third. Three and two. Venable gets back to the bag. Boy, this is inside the big leagues. Pitching, base running, hitting, it's all on the line. 3-2. Venable a short lead. Jansen off the rubber. Been up there over 7 minutes. It's been a 9-pitch at bat. This will be the 10th pitch. Venable not going. On strike 3. So Cameron Maben comes up empty. A 10-pitch at bat. That was the 11th pitch, and he finally strikes out. So 1 away, and now Mark Kotsay coming up. Mark Kotsay, a good reason for a meeting. Born in Whittier, but he lives in San Diego. He went to Cal State Fullerton. He has 6 pinch hits so far this year, hitting .288 with a home run, 7 runs batted in. Originally signed by the Marlins back in 1996. The son of a retired police officer, a motorcycle patrolman for the LAPD. So Mark Kotsay, 36 years old. He'll be 37 in December. First and third, 1 out. They've only run Venable once on a foul ball, which appeared to be a little surprising. If you had run Venable earlier in the count, the Dodgers would have really worried about throwing to second base with Everett Cabrera coming down the line from third. And ball 1. Kenley Jansen has made 16 pitches so far. There's the tying runner, Everett Cabrera. The go-ahead runner is Venable. 1 out. Whoa. Ball 2. 2-0. We told you Kenley has 3 wild pitches. Kotsay, during his salad days, hit as many as 17 home runs for the Padres 10 years ago. He went over to the American League, and with the A's, he had back-to-back years of 15 home runs. He had 6 for the Braves 4 years ago, and then 8 for the White Sox 2 years ago. It all adds up to 125. 2-0. And ball 3. On deck, and of course, how'd you like to pitch to him with the bases loaded? On deck is 5'6" Amarista. So 3-0 the count. Kenley really doing a high wire act. Gave up a single to Alonso. Cabrera ran for him. A single to Venable. Cabrera taking third. He struck out Maben, and he's 3-0 to Kotze. 1 out. There goes Venable on a strike. So now second and third. 3-1 count to Kotze, and let's see with first base open how they'll play it. It'll be a stolen base for Will Venable. 3-1 to Kotze. And the strike. 3-2. Josh Lindblom was up very early in the middle of the game. Now Lindblom is up here in the 9th inning, down in the Dodger bullpen. All right, big pitch. 3-2, first base open, 1 out. And popped up. It will be Rivera or Ellis. So Maben strikes out. Kotze pops her up. And with 2 out, runners at second and third, Alexei Amaristi coming up. The little guy who's a big man in San Diego's plans tonight. He flied to left, almost cut Harang in half with a line drive, and Aaron made the play to throw him out. Grounded out and then doubled. Logan Forsythe is on deck, and Don Mattingly wants to go out to talk to Jansen. Logan Forsythe is 1 for 3 with a walk. Ellis, meanwhile, talking to Jansen. Well, a lot of nodding yes, so they're all in agreement. All right. Little man playing a big role right now, Alexei Amarista. The Padres so far in this series have had to break Bud Black's heart. With runners in scoring position in the 2 games, they are 1 for 19. Well, they have a tying run at third. He's been there for 2 outs. They have a go-ahead runner at second, and it's all in the hands of Amarista. And ball 1. So Kenley Jansen is still not out of the woods, trying to throw strikes to Amarista. Logan Forsythe waiting. Big crowd, 54,000. They have seen a dandy. 1 ball and no strikes. And gets away, but not far enough. 2-0 the count. Remember, Kenley has 3 wild pitches. Meanwhile, they're now in the 11th inning, the Astros and the Giants. And you know who's pitching the 11th inning for the Giants? Old friend Brad Penny. 2-0 the count to Amarista. Not exactly David and Goliath, but you certainly can think of it. Big Kenley, 6'6", standing on a 10-inch mound. And Alexei Amarista, 5'6" and 150 pounds. Cabrera faking at third. That's a strike. I think Amarista thought it was high. Two balls, one strike. So the deuces are really wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and 2 on at second and third. And look at here. He's going to be safe after the plate umpire missed. Another run will score. One moment, Greg Carlson called him out at the plate, but when the ball got away, he then reversed to safe, and another run scored. And so the Padres have turned it around. Kenley head down, scraping, and here comes Cabrera, and the throw goes all the way to the backstop. Cabrera saying, how can I be called out? And then Greg said, no, you're right. And then following comes Venable. So since Cabrera was running, he will be credited with a stolen base of home. And then Venable follows, probably on the wild pitch. And the Padres lead 7-6. A shocking moment. And a ground ball to Mark Ellis. A steal of home and a wild pitch. The Padres steal 2. And we're heading for the bottom of the ninth. Turning your back on home and then throwing it away. And you can see the umpire calling out, and Cabrera saying, what do you mean out? And the ball is all the way to the backstop, and then Venable sneaks in. We're heading for the ninth. 7-6 Padres. You can ask the people here at Dodger Stadium. A wild sequence. Kenley, of course, made a huge mistake, not just being so concentrated and with his head down scraping at the dirt around the rubber, but then the mistake was he turned his back, even for a split second. There you can see him scraping. Cabrera's watching him and see him turn his back. And when he hurries his throw, he throws it away. Ellis, meanwhile, late to go back and get it, and that allows Venable to come in, and he will beat the play. And so the Padres steal 2 and lead 7-6. Everett Cabrera and Alexi Amarista. Meanwhile, the Dodgers will have James Loney come up and bat for Jansen here in the 9th inning. Houston Street will come in now and try to lock it up. Street is 2-0. He has 13 saves, and his strikeout to walk ratio is 4-1. Loney batting .247, 2 home runs, 24 runs batted in, ball 1. So Loney hitting for Jansen. One ball and no strikes. In there, 1-1. So earlier, Rivera committed an error. And now, here in the top of the 9th inning, the error charged to Jansen, who is not on the rubber. Foul back, 1-2. So Cabrera, a steal of home. Venable stole third, and then he was able to come home on the late throw from A.J. Ellis to Jansen. Cabrera's at short, Kotze is at first, and Houston Street the pitcher. 1-2. Check swing foul. Loney, coming off the bench as a pinch hitter, is 2 for 10. Two and two. For Everett Cabrera, by the way, his streak continues. He is 16 for 16 in stolen bases, and tonight a beauty, stealing home. Fastball grounded to Forsythe. 1 out in the 9th. That'll bring up A.J. Ellis, who has struck out 3 times and flied to right. Ellis followed by Luis Cruz. 7 runs, 8 hits for the Padres, 6 runs, 11 hits for the Dodgers, and ball 1. Concluding game tomorrow at 1:10, Jason Marquis and Chad Billingsley. San Diego trying to break a 10-game losing streak here at Dodger Stadium. They might be able to do it the hard way, but they might be able to do it. Team that was 1 for 19 with runners in scoring position found a way to score by running. Ball 2. For Kenley Jansen, an inning I'm sure it'll take a long time to forget. He made 26 pitches. And ball 3. Seven to 6, favor of the Padres. Houston Street out of Austin, Texas, and got him. And for A.J. Ellis, a very tough night. he might appeal a little bit, but walk away empty-handed. For A.J., he goes 0 for 5, striking out 4 times, unless he can stay alive at the plate. And the count's 3-2. All right. So the toughest night of all is strike out 4 times. And now the batter is Luis Cruz, who has struck out, flied to right, walked, hit into a force play. 7-6 Padres, bottom of the 9th, 2 out. A game that saw the Dodgers lead 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, 6-4, 6-5, and now possibly losing 7-6. 0-1 to Cruz. He struck out, flied to right, and Houston Street trying to close up shop. 29-year-old, originally a first-round pick by the A's out of the University of Texas. His father was well known long before Houston became a major league player. One and one. His dad was not only a conference pitcher for the University of Texas, but he was a quarterback who led the Longhorns to the 1970 Cotton Bowl victory. 1-1. Little ground ball to short. Cabrera takes his time and gets him. So the Dodgers let one get away in the 9th inning. And for Kenley Jansen, a painful lesson. You never turn your back, especially when there's a runner like Everett Cabrera at third base. And before the dust settled, Kenley had his wallet picked, and the Padres spoil the evening for a sellout crowd of 54,000. See you tomorrow. Stay tuned for Dodgers Live coming up next. Good night, everybody.